Hi everyone, today we're looking at the Samsung S7. That's the Samsung Galaxy S7. Normally I do not review devices that are sold or not sold by Straight Talk, but this is a very neat and practically brand new phone that has just come out. In my opinion, it's the best Android available, and it's actually neck and neck, in my opinion, with Apple. So I'm going to talk for a few minutes about this device. Normally, I go into the specs and some of the technical stuff about the phone, but instead, I'm going to go ahead and do kind of the reverse and give you the visuals and what to expect from this device. So for starters, it's got fingerprint access, which right now it's not working. Oh, there it goes. And as you can see, it's a really nice phone, good layout. It's running the latest version of Android, and it's Android 6.1, if you could see that. So if we tap here as usual, you're going to get the little Easter egg that Google puts in there. And just like in Lollipop, there's a game. So this is not a specific feature about the phone, but it's a really cool thing to kind of pass the time if you want to play with it. And it's there, it's free, available anytime you want. But if we look at the device itself, the phone, it's got really clean features. It's got the power button here. You can't open it, so it doesn't have a battery. That little grid thing on the right here is the speaker, and of course the charging port. This still uses a micro USB, or I believe it's a nano USB. There's your 3.5 jack. It's got a beveled design on it here, so it's not completely flat. It's kind of curved along the edge there on both sides. There's some words there, but I can't really make out what it is. The back has a gloss finish. Your camera, which is a very impressive camera. It's a 12.2 megapixel camera with a light. On the top there, I believe that's a mic, and then this piece is where you put in your SIM card and your memory card. So it's all built in to itself. Your volume keys are on the side here on the left. Power is on the right. So the fingerprint sensor sometimes has some issues, sometimes it doesn't. But as you can see from this video, the screen is beautiful. It's sharp, and it's got one of the best resolutions I've seen in a long time. In fact, the screen resolution is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1440 by 2560 pixels, and it's got a 576 DPI. So it's a great phone. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. So let's talk about some of the features. This phone has a 2.15 gigahertz quad core processor. And as I've said before, quad core just means that it's more efficient and it can process more information across several cores, so it not all put on one processing core. It's got about 3.4 gigabytes of RAM. It has an accelerometer, a magnetometer, gyroscope, pressure sensor, gravity sensor, linear sensor rotation. It's got a significant motion detector, orientation detector, tilt, screen orientation. I mean, this thing is the top of the line. It's got Wi-Fi direct, Bluetooth low energy, near field communication, so you can do a lot of the pay, like Google Pay and anything that requires near field communication. The front camera is a 5 megapixel camera. The rear camera is, like I said earlier, it's a 2.2 megapixel camera with resolutions of 4032 by 3024. So it's excellent. I mean, yeah, it's got 6.01 marshmallow. Let's look at some of the advanced features. So if we go to settings there, and we go to advanced features, there's some cool things like one-handed operation. And what that does is it lets you control the device easily with one hand by quickly pressing the home screen 3 times. So if I tap this guy quickly, 1, 2, 3, you see how it shrinks the screen, so that way your finger doesn't have to go across the entire screen and you have a smaller version of it, and you can return to full screen. So that's a nice thing there. Quick launch camera. Pressing the home key twice. Well, I did it 3 times that time. Okay, so what I was trying to demonstrate earlier is the quick launch camera where you tap the home screen twice. And when you do that, I want to keep it turned on. So there's my camera, and it's turned on. So I'm going to put something in front of it here so you can kind of see how great this camera is. And you could zoom in just like you would normally. I mean, this thing, it almost looks like I'm holding a magnifying glass in front of this this magazine. It's spectacular. So you could snap a picture and you can review the picture. And I mean, look at the quality. Look how much I have on this thing. I'm literally looking at a zoom of this picture. So I mean, by far this is one of the best cameras, and that feature is really neat. You just press the home screen twice, boom boom, and there you go. So quality on this camera is spectacular. There's really no way for me to show any better than that. But let's go into some other features that are part of this thing. I'm going to go into the settings. I keep missing it. And looking at the advanced features. So we already saw the one-handed operation, the quick launch camera. There's a pop-up view gesture, which basically, as you can see from the diagram, if you take any application and you swipe downward diagonally from the corner, you basically see the app independently on its own. So we'll try that, let's say with the Messenger app. So right now I've got the Messenger app open. I'm going to swipe diagonally. It's kind of tricky. There you go. So basically what I've done is you basically swipe it down and you can manipulate it and place it anywhere on the screen afterwards. So that's a really neat feature that they've done. Another thing is you have swipe to capture. A lot of people say, well, how do you take a screenshot? Well, so Samsung has come up with a pretty cool way of taking a screenshot. And what you do is you take the edge of your palm and you just swipe it across the screen, and that takes a screenshot. And then what you can do is from this screen, you can manipulate the image that you took. So basically you take the screenshot And then from here I can crop and decide what I want to select from the picture. So you just swipe, and then I'm going to crop, and let's say I just want to hone in on this part of the screen, and I want to save it that way. And so what happens is the screen that I've saved is only a piece of what I intended to save. So, a lot of times you take a screenshot and then you have to open it and then manipulate it. Well, this allows you to take the screenshot, and right from the screen that you've taken, you can manipulate it. And that's called smart capture. And then there's a few other things like direct call, where if you're looking at a contact from the contact screen, if you just bring it to your phone, it'll immediately make a call to that contact. And easy mute is not my favorite, but let's say if your phone's ringing, you can either cover it with the palm of your hand, or you could just turn it down flat and it'll mute the phone from ringing. So that's my quick tutorial, or excuse me, review on the Samsung Galaxy S7. By far, probably, if not the best Android that's come out. Another cool feature is this little guy here, where when the screen goes dead, it's not fully dead, because you have a clock and you can manipulate that clock for it to be digital or analog. I prefer the analog, because a lot of times we use our phones as clocks or time, or excuse me, watches, and you just have to pick it up and say, well, okay, here it is, that's the time. Anyway, it's Android. I said 6.1 earlier, but it's Android 6.0.1. And the camera, by far the best. I didn't take anything with the flash on. But one thing I was a little disappointed on is the audio. So I'm going to play something real quick. Let's just see what this thing sounds like. I'm going to raise the volume all this other way. So that's the only thing that I didn't like. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching this Samsung Galaxy S7 review. Just remember that you can use the BYOP option from Straight Talk if you have this phone, or if you have any other AT&T or T-Mobile or unlocked phone. For $45, you get a SIM card and also 5 gigabytes of data. For $60, you have basically the same deal, unlimited, but you also get international access. And just recently they added a 10 gigabyte data plan for $55 a month. So in my opinion, that's the best deal. Again, thank you very much for watching this video. Please go ahead and subscribe. If you want to add any comments, anything that I may have forgotten about, or if you have any suggestions, please be nice on the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great one.